Hey everyone, it's Sam Highfield. I'm an on-set VFX supervisor, and we have the privilege today of welcoming Anselm, who's also an on-set VFX supervisor. Anselm, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. Love your show.
It's nice that to meet another VFX on-set supervisor, because there's not loads of us, and it's do you find it's a bit unusual that we have like one foot in the real world and one foot in the digital world?
We bridge the gap. We are the pontifex, if you will.
Yeah.
In Christian terms, yeah, we were totally between the chairs, which is sometimes bad, sometimes good. From the post world, came into the on-set world. But sometimes you're also a bit of the outcast, I feel like, because production is like, oh yeah, he's post, he's not part of the crew per se. I had that experience as well.
Yeah, because it's so different being on set to being on, just on like Nuke or Mayfair or Houdini. It's such a different world, isn't it?
There's no revisions, no review at, say 5 p.m. It's whatever happens now is what's going
on a film set. Who do you hang around with most? Like camera department, art department?
Depends what I need at the moment. I have my own little capture monitor for VFX. That's really near the video village, because I conspire a lot with the script supervisor, because I can make notes. In my humble experience, the VFX notes, the editors rarely ever read them. Where the script you log at the end of the day, they read thoroughly because it's noted which take the director liked, et cetera, et cetera. So if I can sneak in one of my notes into the script you log, the editor will read it. That's one of the first friends I try to make is a script supervisor, because him or her has so much more. Usually they've been on the project far longer than I am. And they have so much more intel in that I can download in 5 minutes than anyone else between the scriptie and the first AD. That would be 5 meetings otherwise. And so I need the script supervisor, long story short. If there is or a very prestigious private video village with famous people and their lawyers and entourage, then I run a 50-foot cable and be by video assist, like the video playback guys, because they can also give me a feed to my own little monitor. So video assist at Video Village.
Yeah, I'm the same. I always have my own feed. Video Village trying to peer over someone's shoulder or that kind of thing. It just doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, I did that the first couple of years, and until one DP called me an idiot because I was over his shoulder with my DSLR filming what 4 monitors see. Where now I have a decimator, which is a little red box that you feed 4 cameras, and it splits it into a 4 view. And then my monitor has all 4 cameras on a little 7-inch monitor that records everything. As soon as they hit record on the camera, that thing starts recording. And I just swap out memory cards and I have all the takes. I can technically be my own playback, and it helps my notes at the end of the day tremendously, because I can go frame by frame and pick, let's say, the special effects explosion where a guy gets yanked back from the explosion, and I can literally circle the frame. This is the wire, post people. You need to pan out this very frame. And I send a lengthy email with 20 JPEG attachments, frame by frame of the shot, because I recorded the whole day for myself. And just ProRes, nothing fancy. And it's the view that has all the light feed from the camera, which lens it was, sometimes tilt, inclination, all that business that's not in Zolilog that might be displayed on the monitor. I record that along with the footage. And then if anyone has questions what the camera tilt was, it's right there in the video. I usually FTP that to the client at the end of the day, every day. They can just look. So that's great.
Oh yeah, no, it's the number one best thing I ever did was to be able to record a feed. And if there's a question and say, hey, we need to go back and do this or change this, why? Because here is why. And you can show them, you can play back video, zoom in like a surgeon, you can be precise. And that changes the decision on set for me. It's like, instead of oh, what's this VFX guy saying is making difficulties, change it to, oh, yeah, we actually need to go and fix this now, because this will create a huge problem for us 2 months down the line in post-production. So yeah, that's probably one of the best things I ever did. And your setup is better than mine, actually, because you can record multiple cameras at the same time. You mentioned Zolilog before. Could you tell us what that is?
Yeah, Zoelog is an app that records the metadata from the camera live and can generate PDFs, and you can take screenshots and whatnot. I used to run around like a chicken without a head at the end of the day and take quick photos with my phone of the handwritten camera reports in the analog days. Those days are over because it records the whole day, and in the end of the day you can say create PDF, send as email, and it's fantastic. And the thing is, it's an app that you have to subscribe to. So if you're smart, you tell the post house that that'll be one of your running expenses. Please rent me Zoelog for a month, 3 months, whatever the packages they have.
That's fantastic. And speaking of fantastic work, so I was looking at Mayfair Witches. You did some really brilliant work with a miniature dollhouse. Am I
Yes.
right? And you would, I think the action was to take this doll, so it was a real practical made dollhouse, but then you would take some live action shots and then make them look like they were actually inside the dollhouse. How did you match the camera angle and lighting between those two different, very different?
Ideally, in like a film schedule world and budget, you shoot the actors looking into the dollhouse first, and we would put little green screen posts in all the rooms. We would replace with CGI later. And for white shots where nobody's interacting or looking into it, we had the actual rooms built, 3D printed and or on cardboard, and they were there like a dollhouse, and they'd be in camera. But ideally, what you do is you shoot the actors looking into the dollhouse first. You measure all your angles like you would with a camera lens, and then you replicate that on live sets. You have wild walls, right? You take the front wall out so you can look into the whole room. Then you have a techno crane with a camera, and our dollhouse was 1:24 scale. So me and the DP, mostly me, did all the math that where the camera has to be in what angle, how high, how far away, to match the viewing distance of the person looking into the dollhouse, because that's the shot that then gets comped into the miniature dollhouse. It was pretty mind-boggling. Here's the problem. Like I said, on a movie schedule, you would shoot the actors looking into the dollhouse first, then you have all your angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
On a TV schedule and budget, actor availability is an issue. In 1/3 of the cases, we shot it that way. The other 2/3 we did not. We had to shoot the wild wall, the life-size set first, and we had 3 cranes because we didn't know yet where they're going to look. So we did 45 head-on, 45, shot the whole scene from up, down eye level, same thing, 45 head-on, 45. They gave us 6 plates, and one of them is hopefully how they eventually going to look 2 weeks down the line when we shoot the miniature. So sometimes we had to do it backwards just because the actor wasn't available. They have other obligations. They fall ill, whatever happens live. Ideally miniature first with actors, and then you know your angles. If not, cover your butt with as many angles as you can.
we know like the ideal way to do it, but then the ideal way is often not possible because of scheduling and budget. Let's face it. A lot of the times, a lot of the VFX supervisors that I know, especially on sets, they've done like kind of like a one-person band or a one-man band kind of thing, where they've done a bit of everything. So that's from doing compositing, 3D, working with actors, and even controlling a budget. So have you done that?
Yes, luckily I don't have to do all the things all the time. But yeah, being one-man army, guns for hire, 100%. That's also why you make friends fast, or be good at that, and become the diplomat. I'm on walkie with the crew. I demand having a walkie, because if I need a C-stand, I don't need a PA to run to the grip department and get me that, or I need to shoot an actor on the sidelines for reference photos. I don't need babysitting. I just go, channel 7 is the light, is the sparks. You go straight to the juicers and tell them what you need, and they usually help you out. Same, grip is on channel 8. You just go there. I need a C-stand, whatever, and they give it to you. But I'm good at borrowing the instruments.
What keeps coming up over and over again, working about 60, 70-hour weeks, which I found is not everyone wants to admit to it, but I think that's what happens a lot in the industry, especially with VFX supervisors.
Absolutely, 100-hour weeks. In the US, especially, where it's a strict, unionized hierarchy, I got yelled at a lot for moving my own crap. And because it's not you're not supposed to touch the stuff from, there's a set deck department that moves the vase around that might be in front of a face or stuff like that. I tend to do it guerrilla style a lot. The ADs love it because it saves a lot of time. Other departments, you step on feet sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forever sorry, but that's how I do things, and I'm hired because I do things the way I do, and I represent my client, and it's good for them. I play nice with everybody. I try. I ask, but if push comes to pull, I'll just do it.
Yeah. And I think it's like kind of rigorous, let's just get it done attitude. Yeah.
We shot a Ghostbusters fan film here, Ghostbusters NOLA. And because it was such a tiny project, it was a guy's huge Ghostbusters fan. His bachelor party was shooting a Ghostbusters fan film with all like the grooms from the Ghostbusters, his groomsmates, and the bride and the bridesmaids are like the ghosts and the Ghostbusters. They made their bachelor party a 3-day film shoot. And I was in pre-production. I was there for the onset, and then I did all the posts together with the DP / editor. And we did everything from A to Z. Like the DP and editor also did like, the sound tracking and all that. It was fun. I missed it because it was such a small budget, in theory, small project that we just didn't have, the means to hire 10 guys. I had a blast doing everything. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And it was good to know that I still got it. Like I haven't forgotten how to.
Yeah, I've done exactly the same. I mean, it's nice to work on these huge projects, but then if you go to a smaller project or you work with a B unit or something like that.
The unit is one of my favorites. We call it Black Ops here. Because sometimes you shoot stuff you have a film permit, of course, but yeah, you shoot all the fun stuff. Like all the car chase stuff where it's just racing cars where you don't see the actor. That's never shot on first unit. Mm-hmm. Inserts of gunfire and stuff like that. That's never the real actor. That's a hand double. That's all B unit, guerrilla Black Ops. I love Black Ops.
This is something that's happened to me a lot, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever been on films like called to a film set just in case we need visual effects? So there's nothing clear for you to do, but can you come along for like a full day, which could be 10, 11 hours?
Yeah, I like money. I worked on a show, NCS New Orleans, where we have a lot of motion graphics. As in their squad room where their police headquarters has like 15, 16, 20 monitors. And it's all like random, whatever helps the case. Sometimes those graphics aren't ready on time. And they had me there just in case we have to go green screen or blue screen, and to make that decision, or just leave it black and roto it. Yeah, because if you have 20 monitors of motion graphics that are not just random bogus stuff, but actual like pictures of the bad guy, the supposed victim, crime stuff that's actually tying into the story. Chances are 20 monitors that it's not ready if you shoot that on day 2 of the episode because we haven't filmed the crime scene yet. So chronologically, it hasn't happened. And for that, there's standing by. But for those days, you bring your laptop and do other tasks on the show. You might. You do your own R&D or bring a Steam Deck or a Switch, On
the clock, it's 10 hours. Something that happened to me, I do almost nothing or not be required to anything for about 9.5 hours. But in that last 30 minutes, at the end of the day, when everyone's tired,
you age 2 years.
Yeah, some catastrophe happens, and only VFX can save us. And I mean, that's normally we have to swing in. And I mean, at that point, for me, if I've been around for 10 hours, I've probably had 10 cups of coffee at that point. Or just seeing if I could break my record of how many cups of coffee I can drink in one day. It's not the best use of our skills and such, but it's just the nature of being on a film set. Sometimes
it's called saving your ass. That's why the VFX producer made the call and has the expense somewhere buried in the budget. So there's extra days that you can hang around just in case. Also, you mentioned 10-hour days. I just shot all last summer in Ireland. I like the European model, being from Europe too, having shot there a bunch. I like the European model better, not to piss off any of my American friends. We here do 12-hour days that are often more like 14, 16-hour days.
Wow.
10-hour hard outs are nice. You start your day at 7 a.m., you have a half-hour lunch. At 5:30, the hammer falls.
Yeah.
I would get home during daylight. I could go to a museum after a work day. That is unheard of here. We don't, the joke is like, we live to work where you guys work to live. There's truth to that, I have to say. 10-hour days are really, really nice. And it turned out we got the show in the can. We didn't have to do 16-hour days. We did 2 days of longer hours because that was scheduled, because it was a lot of night stunts that takes more than 10 hours. And yeah, but there was 2 days out of months of shooting. I like the 10-hour model. I'm pro 10 hours. Also, I'm on a day rate. I'm not, everybody on overtime, like the Sparks, the Grips, etc. They like money. They love overtime. If you're on a day rate, I can't get out of there fast enough. That's not true. I love my job, but you know what I mean. If it's past 10 hours, I start to lose money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm in the same way. I'm always, contracted in as a freelancer to work in these things, and there's been a few cases where it's been really nicely unionized, or the production's just volunteered just to follow everything. So I've been paid overtime. It's been rare, but yeah, I have been paid overtime and it's the same rate as the unions get, where it's time and a half if you go over so much, and then so that's times 1.5 or times 2 or even times 3. I forget
on holidays, like if you work on Christmas or something, right?
Yeah.
There's a holiday extra hazard pay, whatever you want to call it.
Because it goes off the time code on the monitor. So if you're supposed to finish at 6 p.m., so 1800 hours, and it goes over to 1801 second, that means that everyone gets paid 15 minutes of overtime, because it goes up in 15-minute increments.
It's in 6-minute increments, but yeah, you get 2 clicks automatically. So that's 12 minutes of overtime.
Yeah.
The model here is they divide an hour by 10, so it's 6-minute increments. So they went metric again on their inches and yards. You get 2 clicks. That's why, we call grace here a lot, which lets you finish the shot. If you can't move the camera, but you're allowed to finish the shot without overtime kicking in. Okay. Do you have that in the UK? I don't remember.
It's on the clock, and the production have to ask everyone on the set individually, are you okay to do overtime? And they have to do that before overtime kicks in. So they have to anticipate it, and then they have to go and ask it, and that's part of the agreement.
In theory, they have to do that here too, but usually they just call grace, and then you do another 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Or, the second grace period. I mean, you get paid for it. It's just, we're going to shoot longer.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
on the productions that I've been, there's been the elimination of the grace period. There's no grace period anymore. It's as soon as it goes over, bang, it's 15 minutes of overtime if it's 1 second over.
I remember like at 5:30, which was at hour 10, if you start at 7 plus lunch, that wasn't even rap call. They just started to pack their shit.
Yeah.
It must be nice. I'm for it.
Visual effects, they're often invisible on the set. So is there anything that you do to have, say, like practical stand-ins to help the actors with their performances?
Yeah. The biggest thing we had on Mayfair Witches was the wolf puppet. There were 4 in total. So in the final product, the wolf is over life size. It's not a werewolf. It's a wolf dog, a more mystical creature, but it's larger than a real dog. That is CGI. However, for the close-ups, when people get their throat bit and people stab it as they wrestle with it and all that, that is an actual puppet that we had built. And I fought hard to have that built because there was hesitance at the beginning, because that was the most expensive portion of it, because it had rubber teeth, so it can bite a stunt guy, a working tongue, a pulley system inside, like a stunt guy actually does all that. It's like a sock puppet, it's like a Muppet. But for the VFX guys, just the reference of how the fur in this particular lighting reacts, it's the best reference. And the very, very best reference we had was the actual, it turns out the stunt coordinator in Ireland has a police-trained black wolf dog of all animals. And he was the best actor on set because he got it first. He's police trained. He listens like nobody on set ever, like no human would. And then the animators could basically like frame by frame animate over that because the dog that all the actions just needs to be superhuman, super dog size because the creature is bigger. That's what you should have clean played for. But for reference, $1 million.
Yeah.
And he does it for, the treat. We also had like a grayscale wolf that I would carry through set that had tracking markers for the eyes. Same, just how we have our chrome and gray balls. Great reference for CGI, but obviously utility pass that you have to remind the DP and first AD that you will need 2 passes extra. You need a clean plate and the puppet and the gray wolf be carried through. But that was the best example of a live dog, a puppet, and full CGI together. If you cut it, it's the climax of one of the final episodes. We shot it for 10 days. It's 1.5 minutes in the movie, but it's big stunts. It's like it's a battlefield, and the wolf dog on command goes and attacks people, kills people, and then gets killed and stabbed. And all the close-ups is actually a real knife stabbing into the fur. We did that last because we knew we were going to harm the puppet. Yeah. And I fought hard to get this puppet made because they were like, we can just wrap a furniture pad with some fake fur, right? And he stabs that, and it'll look just like that. You will not be happy, I can promise you. And I fought hard. And we had this puppet made in Ireland we found a special effects shop in Dublin that made it in like 10 or 12 days.
Wow.
Based on our ideas. They came to set, yep, understood. That's what gotcha. And it was fantastic. But otherwise we would have, it would have been made in Los Angeles by the creature shop that we usually use, shipped in a crate. The FedEx cost alone, I don't even want to know. Because it's fragile. It's like, it's like shipping vinyl records or porcelain from A to B. Yeah. It's not cheap or fast or nothing. Yeah, no, we had that made right there. It was great.
Is there any particular thing that you like about working on a film set?
I like the hands-on aspect of if you ever want to know how a movie is made, that's the best way to like pull back the curtain, if you will, look behind the scenes. I like the hands-on aspect of it. That it's not as glamorous as people think Hollywood is or whatever. It's actually hard work. Hard, honest work to tell a lie. 24 lies a second, right? That is very interesting to me. How much goes into that? How much pre-planning? How much then production? Your average American TV show that's 45 minutes long shoots 8 to 10 days for 45, 42 minutes of content. That's wild to think about how much goes into that. Also justifies why it is as expensive as it is.
When I explain to people who've never worked on TV and film, the idea of how long does it take? So you said about 10 days to get a 45-minute episode show out. 8 days of filming or 10 days of filming. I remember a lot of people think, well, if it's about 45 minutes long, maybe it takes 2 or 3 hours. Maybe they have to do a few more takes, and then it literally takes 2 or 3 hours to put a 45-minute episode. No, it takes a lot longer. And we have a saying in the UK, which is your first day on a film set is the most exciting morning ever, but the most boring afternoon, because you realize how much waiting around there is.
Yeah, it's like going to we have the DMV, like where you get your driver's license renewed and you pull a number and you wait for 6 hours. So we say it's like going to the DMV with famous people.
Yeah. And I know you're busy, Anselm, but I've just got one last question for you, and that is, so what is your perspective of the future with artificial intelligence?
So Gen AI being, of course, the biggest threat to our livelihood as filmmakers, to me, it's a tool. Gen AI is still not there yet. We can talk about that again in 2 years. I'm excited to see what it's capable of. But I can see how people feel threatened in our industry that this is how we can make TV shows now, just licensing a likeness of an actor and then have computers do it based on a script you feed it. As a tool, I love it. I use it pretty much every day. It does all the mundane work fantastic that nobody likes to do anyways. The other thing is deep faking actors' faces over stunt guys. We don't have to burn stunt guys anymore when we see their face. Burning here we mean when you see the face and he plays a bad guy, you can't shoot him again on camera because we already saw who that is. Now we can just deep fake another face on top of it, and he could play 10 bad guys that we shoot. So the stunt guys love it. They get more days out of their assignment. Another thing that I love doing with it is Gaussian splatting, just based on a film plate without witness cameras. The trackers and match move guys love LiDAR scans, and that used to be $40,000, $60,000 equipment. Having like Kodak LiDAR scanners, it's a whole LiDAR survey team you got to hire specifically for that day to scan your set. That's still very valid for big budget stuff because it's just so much more accurate, the laser technology in it. But an AI-driven Gaussian splat, just from the Steadicam plate you feed it, is pretty darn good. There's a Blender camera tracker plugin that does it. That costs $30 and Blender is free. And it gives you a Gaussian splat that's pretty near. It's a 15 million point cloud. And if you give that to the trackers and match movers, they love it. Or they can generate shadow catchers for the CGI elements for it. For that, AI is fantastic. I wish we had that earlier. And I use it every day as a tool, as a new toolkit or tool in the toolkit. The one issue I see with it is that all those like roto cleanup that used to be like intern jobs, how you break into the industry sometimes is as a roto artist at a post house. With those jobs now breaking away, being done by computers, it's really hard to break into the industry, I feel like, or a lot harder than it used to be, because the mundane work that an intern usually does is now taken care of.
All the big tech companies, they put so much money into AI that it's not going to go away. I think it's like a huge wave that's coming, and you can't just stop a wave by standing on the beach and trying to push it away. So it's
and I mean, right now it's a big bubble. It's like a .com bubble, and we will see it healing itself, shrinking itself to a healthy size. But I don't want it to go away. It's a fantastic tool. The other thing I forgot to mention is AI match moving. We use a day at the mocap stage is tremendously expensive, and is an extra day that the production has to schedule with the DP there, the actor there, everything. With things like, Rococo or Move AI and Mashcapade, you just feed it the take that was preferred from the actual shoot day, and it'll do a half decent job of doing a match move for you.
Anselm, I'm going to say a big thank you from millions of people, because I'm just looking at all the movie posters and TV show posters behind you, which shows, over 20 years of working with visual effects and all these great shows that we've all been able to enjoy. And you're the wizard behind making the magical elements of that come to life.
Thank you.
Okay.
I try. I find my balance.
Okay, everyone. Now, thanks very much, and thank you, Anselm, for coming on. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.